Hey everyone, John Henry here from School of Trade. Today we're going to be taking a look at an S&P buy off of the channel lows. Now, this move that I'm looking for is primarily back to the high of day, but given the fact that our stop is so wide on this, we're going to have to make sure to make it so that our stop is going to be equal to our target so that the trade is worthwhile. So our stop is down at 90.75 and our entry is at 94. That means that our target has to be up here, and we're going to be looking for 97.25 for that final objective, just making sure that our stop and our target makes sense for this type of trade. Now, that's primarily just because of the candle being so big that's getting us into the trade. You might be able to get better limit orders if you try to get in farther down, but this is the entry point at 94. Now, the overnight session had a gargantuan run higher, starting at around 1 in the morning Eastern time. They've just been slamming higher ever since, and we're finally peeling off the highs at 98.5. Now, that peel off of the highs has driven us down in a nice bear channel working lower, but on the bear side, we had this massive blow off through the bottom. And a lot of times when you get that type of blow off in an otherwise strong bull trend, we're seeing the finalization of the move. We're seeing the sellers get out of the market and start to turn this back around. So the entry point at 94 is essentially playing off the fact that we know sellers are trying to get out of the move, and we're going to ride this back up to the high of day targets. Now, again, the high day targets, I'm going to go for a 1-to-1 on this at 97.25, but either way, we're looking for an upside move. Another thing that makes this really interesting, if we look back a little ways here, we can see before that big spike that happened right there, we formed a slight little flag, and we are right back in the scene of the crime again in that same spot, and we saw an immense amount of buying pressure once again, followed up with another spike type candle. So we are seeing a potential for some strong bullish follow through to get this back up to the high. So everything falling into place pretty nicely here. Entry at 94, target at 97.25, and the 1-to-1 risk is at 90.75. Interesting little scenario that we're seeing here. We have a test of the channel highs and we're trying to reject back lower. So I'm looking to enter into this at 96.25, one more contract, primarily because I know sellers will have taken that and I believe that they are on the wrong side of trade. That is not what you want to be doing, is selling in the face of this type of move up. So I know that they were triggered in and their stops are going to be above the highs at 96.25. So I'm going to look to fade them for an extra 4 ticks with one more contract. Now the nice thing is if this triggers us in at 96.25 and goes back up through the highs, I can lock my stop in very tight to a point of break even pretty much. And that kind of locks out all the risks. So even though we're adding one more pretty far up from where our original entry point is, it doesn't necessarily matter because our stop moves up to reduce almost all of the risk in one shot. So now we're just waiting to see if the buyers want to follow this through. We have the sellers that entered in short here getting whipped out of the move. It's exactly what we were looking for. Now I'm looking for that stop run to fuel a move back up to my 97.25 target, and we should be good to go on this. So our stop is pretty much at break even. The average position makes it so that it's a slight loss, but very, very small. So almost no risk on the trade, all upside potential, and we're already 1 tick away from the target. So we'll see if they can kind of finish the job, get that poke higher here and get our targets filled. And there we go, we get the targets filled. Beautiful move up. It's exactly what we were looking for. Nice little trap play as well, where we see the sellers trying to get in against the mold, right? They're getting in against this huge torrent of buyers. They're very likely going to get whipped out, and that is exactly what happened, and we were able to ride that up into our targets. So really nice move up and a great little add-on there for an extra little 4-tick scalp, and that's going to do it for me. So if you have any questions about it, feel free to send an email to School of Trade. Don't forget to check out our trial at schooloftrade.com, and as always, we'll catch you next time.